You're listening to the Patriarchy Show with Ian and Sal. Prepare to be triggered. Unapologetically right.
What is going on, guys? This is the Patriarchy Show, episode 65 with Ian and myself, Sal. We have guest Pat Dixon tonight. Ian,
Who?
what is happening?
What? I don't know. I have
What?
Oh, I have a fever.
Did you catch something from George Bush Sr.?
Yeah, I'm gonna die tomorrow. I'm gonna lay in state. Bob Dole's gonna wearily get up out of his wheelchair and salute me. It's gonna be awesome.
I posted a tweet about you earlier with some stupid image of some chick getting thrown off a bridge in a wheelchair.
That's good because I hate disabled people. That's one thing I always thought was weird when people say they stand up for disabled people. It's like, who doesn't?
So I got to use it again when I saw that Bob Dole news. I was like, screw him too. Here he goes.
Bob Dole goes over bridge in wheelchair. So our guest tonight is we're having a comedian back to back. So we had Steve McCarthy last week, and now we're having Pat Dixon this week. He's does the New York City Crime Report. Great show. He moved to New York City. Well, I'm going to talk to him about this, and it was like, why are there no shows about crime in New York City? It's there. There's all this material because New York City is synonymous for crime. So
very unlimited.
It's super unlimited. I mean, if we could do New Jersey Crime Report? Could we spin off?
You could probably do it from our old hometown, especially what's been happening lately there.
Yeah. Yeah. So so there's two small towns in New Jersey, Matawan and Aberdeen. They had to combine school districts to Matawan Aberdeen Regional High School. This is where I went. This is where Sal went. We both graduated. A couple years earlier, this guy, Charlie Rogers, graduated. He was star football, all-state, went to college, Georgia Tech, played in the pros for 5 years, the Dolphins, the Seahawks, and I forget whoever else. But he had a good career. He's making millions of dollars, and always he just got in trouble. He's an offensive coordinator at a Catholic high school. But we'll see how far you've fallen. You're a punt returner for the Miami Dolphins. Now you're a, offensive coordinator for a high school in Jersey, a Catholic high school at that. And apparently he attacked a student's father, right?
Yes, he
with not his fists, not a gun, but a sword. He wielded a sword and ran after this guy.
Samurai sword.
A samurai sword. Black people love samurais. The Wu-Tang Clan, the whole martial arts fetish. You ever notice that?
I don't get it. I don't understand that.
It's a thing, right? I'm not just pretending this is real. Black people love samurais and anime and stuff, right?
Anime?
Well, yeah. I see him with anime shirts on sometimes. Yeah, yo. Watching some.
This guy played for the NFL for 3 years, where the minimum salary at that time was like $500,000-$600,000. And in the 911 call, the witness who called said he was driving a 92 Impala. So
I guess he spent all that money he made in the pros. He actually played, I think the average pro football player is about 5 years. So he made it that far.
Oh, he made it halfway. That's good.
Yeah. And Matawan High School is a tiny high school, and we've produced a significant amount of NFL stars. We had Dallas defensive lineman Jim Jeffcoat.
Yeah.
He won the Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys in the early 90s.
And lost it with the Bills.
Whatever. And
yeah, he's good.
He was a good player. He was the best player Madawan ever, came out of the school. I remember his mother was substitute teaching a class, and this kid hit me. Well, we were making fun of each other all year back and forth. I probably deserved this. And this kid hit me in the back of the head with a book. So I'm not going to take that. I'm 16, 15. So I spear him through a table, and this is before UFC.
Like fucking Bill Goldberg.
Yeah. Bill Goldberg, and I just start punching him. And Jim Jeffcoat's elderly mother goes, stop it, please. I was like, I'm only stopping because you're Jim Jeffcoat's mom, and I want him to know that. So then I got suspended.
That's funny.
And there was another player, Jay Bellamy. Remember him?
Seahawks.
Yeah. He played for the Seahawks. So Madawan in the past 25 years has produced 3 NFL players, one that won the Super Bowl. And I'm telling you, it's a small town. What's the population of Madawan and Aberdeen? Sal, can you look at that?
Aberdeen is a little over 10, and Madawan is like 6,000.
Yeah, so maybe 15,000 people. You had a Super Bowl winning defensive lineman and 2 NFL players. One who decided to attack someone with a samurai sword, but nonetheless.
Well, that was the third thing. Recently, right before that, he left a threatening message on a student's voicemail. That's when he got fired from the Catholic school.
They fired him, huh?
Yeah, and the reason why he was booted from the NFL, or not booted from the NFL, is just no one wanted him anymore. Is because of multiple drug offenses, and he was arrested at a strip club in your town.
Yes.
And he tried to fight police officers.
Yeah. Here's a word of advice to my black brothers and sisters. Even though probably only we have like one black person listening right now, live. Don't resist. Deal with it later. It's not like the cops gonna go, you know what? He's giving a really tough fight. We're gonna let him go. He did a really good job running away. Screw it. Stop. This is why you're getting shot. Stop resisting. Just be like, okay, and call a lawyer, get to the police station, get your one call, whatever. I've had to deal with the bench warrants and all that, and you make your phone call, you get your lawyer, and you're done. The other way is you get shot.
That's the truth.
It is. Stop resisting. And he was drugs. He was fighting with a stripper outside the strip club. Do we have the 911 call? And this isn't a joke. Like we're going to pretend I'm Charlie Rogers or anything. Like, do we have the 911 call?
How would you? I don't even know how you would try and imitate him.
I'm not going to try because it would sound super racist. Space football.
Let's see if I can find this thing. Can now hear the 911 call. Oh, okay. So now the friggin' website.
The city spiders in the chat is absolutely right. The cops are not killing, I guess, the N-word randomly. They are targeting anyone that chimps out. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's the advice I tell everybody. I don't care what color you are, what planet you're fucking from. Don't resist. Just something like, okay. Because they're not going to just stop. They're not going to just go, meh.
No, they're not. Where the hell is this 911 call?
This isn't Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. That drives me nuts. Yeah. Every time I watch live PD or cops and I see the people resisting, you're like, here we go. Here come the dogs.
I mean, what did they expect?
Like I said, the cops are just like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home. Do you think the cops want to do that?
No.
You have the phone call?
Yeah.
All right, play it.
Are they gonna at least pick up for this poor guy?
Yes, how you doing? Charlie Rogers is out here riding around with a samurai sword in his car, drunk.
Okay.
I mean, he's going to end up hurting somebody. He's literally swinging a sword around trying to hit this one guy.
Pause it.
In the parking lot.
Pause it. See, Charlie Rogers is so well known in Aberdeen. He didn't say there's a man in the parking lot with a samurai sword, drunk, trying to attack people. He said Charlie Rogers. Like the dispatcher already knows who it is. Like, oh, this guy again. Go ahead, play it.
Charlie Rogers out here.
Out here waving his sword.
Really, like he's drunk. Can you please send somebody over, please?
Sure. Where's he at?
He's driving up Cliffwood. He's driving up Cliffwood Avenue.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Which parking lot was he in?
The back parking lot of Mams.
Okay,
Wait, where was that?
That's Mattawa. That's the middle school.
Oh, he was at the middle.
Yeah.
The samurai sword in the middle school parking lot.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I think it was like a Chevy. It was a Chevy Impala, maybe like a 92 or 4 Chevy Impala.
Okay. What color?
That's
Silver.
That's sad that, you know.
What color? Black.
Okay.
No, I mean the car.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I think it was
See, the Patriarchy Show doesn't just cover national news.
yeah.
We really get into local Jersey happenings.
Local small town folk.
But this is funny. Regardless of where it's from, that's funny. It could have been Texas, and that's funny. It just happens that we went to school with him, which makes it even funnier.
I'm currently eating 200 Tic Tacs.
I hope so.
They'll be
lodged in your throat and you die.
Choking to death on orange Tic Tacs. That'd be fucked up.
Imagine that. Cause of death, Tic Tac.
That's how George Bush died.
Yeah, he choked on the orange Tic Tacs. Well, it probably because he's old. It probably was like one of those Butterworth candies, Werther's Originals.
Those things suck. I hate old people candy.
It's old people candy. They have that glass bowl. I mean, this has been talked about with the candy that's stuck together. You pick up one piece, you pick up the whole thing. Try some ribbon candy. Greatest generation, my ass. They have the worst candy.
They suck.
Well, of all the generations, boomers are probably the worst, correct?
Agreed.
I think so. Gen X is close because it's on the cusp.
Isn't that us?
You know what I find funny? When millennials criticize millennials. Because technically I'm a millennial. Yeah, I was born in 81.
Aren't
both
on the cusp of Gen X and millennial?
Yeah, so whatever that's called. Zillennial. So millennials are just going, oh, these lazy millennials, they don't care. You're a millennial too. You were born in 85.
I hate people. I hate young people. I hate old people. I just like myself.
You're just a curmudgeon.
I think I sound like Bryden, our boy Bryden. He hates everyone too.
It just gets old. It's like, why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z? Why are you importing third world labor instead of encouraging the native population to reproduce more? No, you're going to bring in third world labor to replace, and that's a whole nother subject, but it's not going to turn out good. The country is going to drastically change.
Yeah.
When you import someone from a shit country, a shithole, as the president would say, to a good country, America.
That's what we should talk about throughout the show. Maybe I don't know if Pat would want to talk about that, but what happens after Trump?
Right.
What do we do? Are we just fucked? We
Well,
have our 4, maybe 8 years of, I don't know what you would call this, and then that's it. We're done.
after Trump, if we continue at the pace pre-Trump of immigration, legal and illegal, we're gonna have, I think, an eventual balkanization, meaning you're gonna have a lot of people or a lot of states and governors on the right. So let's say the governor of, just picking one, a Montana or Idaho, challenging a dictate of Congress or the president that's a left-wing idea, and he goes, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I 10th Amendment, the states. So you're going to have a lot of that stuff, because the Supreme Court is kind of to the right, and hopefully we can get another judge in there. The courts will judge and decide with those governors of the right-wing states.
Yep.
So you're going to have essentially countries within countries. Kind of like the UK is countries within countries.
Are we going to get our yellow vests and go out and riot?
Well, I was talking to our UK editor, Jack Smith, about this today. But what happens in the UK? They have a Tory government, conservative government that hasn't done shit, hasn't done Brexit. I was like, you guys need a Trump. You guys need a Donald Trump.
Exactly.
So we're thinking, I'm like, who's rich, does whatever he wants, has a lot of money, and is famous, reality TV shows. And it's right in front of us. Gordon fucking Ramsay. He made a quote about Brexit saying that the stopping of the influx of immigrants will bring about more natural talent. Now, the fact that he used the word influx and said it this way leads me to believe he secretly pro-Brexit. So Gordon Ramsay 2022. What do you think?
I love it. So is he saying that third world immigrants are talentless?
Yes, that's essentially what he's saying.
I agree.
Think about it. You take 10 Japanese people, put them in the middle of Columbus, Ohio. You take 10 Somalian Muslims, put them in the middle of Columbus, Ohio. Which group of people is going to, quote unquote, succeed and possibly integrate? And which group of people is going to be Somalian Muslims? Hold on.
There's no doubt about that.
I'm being professional tonight. I'm using my cough button on my mic.
We used to use the term cough button. Oh, Curtis Sliwa. I hate
Curtis. That was your buddy, Curtis Sliwa.
him. Do you even give a shit that George Bush died?
Who? No.
It's
not only everywhere. I mean, honestly, yeah. It's just another president.
I was listening to Hannity on the radio on the way home today, and for years and years, we talked about Ronald Reagan, just like Mark Levin. We always make fun of him for that.
Ronald Reagan was my best friend.
He wasn't. Shut up. And he likes to tout Ronald Reagan's economic successes. Now George Bush is dead, so now it's not Ronald Reagan. It's Ronald Reagan, George Bush job creation. Ronald Reagan, George Bush.
He's attaching George Bush to the Ronald Reagan policies now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, this is the revisionist part. This is where even the left-wing media goes, now this was a president's president. He was... Even though at the time, like when he was running in 87, they were when he was VP, they were attacking him, going after him. He forgot what interviewer. He yelled at the interviewer and goes, well, I could be unprofessional like you, and then walk off the stage, walk off the interview. Like, he got into some heated shit with the press, with the media. The media is treating him better dead than they did alive.
When Donald Trump dies, they're not even going to mention it.
Oh yeah, and this is what the media is doing. They're going, so now that Bush died, a president's president, quote unquote, what are we going to do when Trump dies? Is he going to lay in state, or we're just going to throw him in a dumpster? Do these people want a civil war? Guess who has the guns and is a majority in the military? They're out of their minds with this talk of trying to get Trump put in jail via collusion, whatever the method is. The House is going to go after him. I mean, I think I'm hoping he doubled his the size of his legal team. That's what W did in 2002. When the Republicans lost the House, he doubled the size of his legal team. So I'm hoping Trump does the same, because he's just going to get a bunch of Democrats asking for his father's tax returns.
Bush was worried that they were going to pin 9/11 on him because of all them. Oh no, there were no memes back then.
There were no memes in the George
Bush did 9/11 memes in 2002.
Well, he knew. I was watching the news, and there was this Newsweek article that was running, or I should say cover, that said something like George Bush, the wimpy factor. Like he had to show that he wasn't a wimp against, I think, Dukakis, right? Dukakis he ran against?
George.
That George George H.W. Bush had this wimp factor that he had to get over, according to the media. Even though he served in the military, he was a wimp still to the media.
Yeah, he ran against Dukakis. The Democrats threw him to the lines. They knew no one was going to win after Reagan.
Yeah. So the media has always gone after the right, even if it's gatekeeper right and the right that's allowed to say what they want. The left-wing media has always been an arm of the DNC and the Democrats. It's just now with Trump, everybody's attacking him. You have the left-wing media, you have the establishment conservative media attacking him, or going, I was wrong, sorry, and joining the Trump side.
Yeah, no one on. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what happened with that Guardian article.
Which one?
The WikiLeaks. There was an article last week from the Guardian that stated that Julian Assange met with Paul Manafort.
Okay, so
it wasn't true, and they still have not pulled back on that article.
Even if it was true, real quick, even if it was true, who cares?
Yeah, but the fact is that they reported fake news.
Right.
His passport stamps prove he wasn't there.
Right.
And they still haven't retracted the story. That kind of shit pisses me off. Just as much as the "oops, I'm sorry," as you were stating before. There's so many fucking ways that they try to pull shit over on us.
Yeah, and in print media, how they do it is New York Times will put a retraction on page 63 in the Friday edition or something, so nobody sees it. I'm sorry, I'm sick, so I might cough a lot. So just I apologize at the time. Don't worry, Pat Dixon is coming. He'll be on soon, I think. I'm getting word he'll be here soon.
I think everyone. I think Ian is coughing because he caught something from Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pass out at the 9/11 memorial now.
You're gonna faint, get pulled into a van, and hold on.
Get pulled into a van with doctors, and they really had to prop her up like Weekend at Bernie's, didn't they?
That's why I don't think she's gonna run. I can't see her running again.
Do you think she actually will run again in 2020?
I don't know. Do
You think this? You think this is realistic? That she is that narcissistic that she thinks she can still beat Trump in 2020.
you have Biden out there saying, I sound like the guy from the 9/11 call. Biden out there, Biden's out there saying he's the most qualified to run for president. So, is there going to be a little? Is that going to be the big battle in the DNC, Hillary versus Biden?
Great. Well, it's Beto O'Rourke and Obama had a huddle today. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah. Beto O'Rourke. Beto. That's I hate calling him that.
Wasn't he just like Robert?
Bobby O'Rourke. These eyes are shining. Guy who isn't Mexican at all. Beto O'Rourke. Bob O'Rourke. He sounds like a dock worker from Boston.
Bob O'Rourke.
I listen to the Dropkick Murphys and I work on the docks. So, Texas Democratic Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke conceded to Ted Cruz in El Paso's speech on November 6th. That's the Reuters thing. So, So, Beto O'Rourke, weighing whether to mount a 2020 presidential bid, met recently with Barack Obama at his post-presidency offices in Washington. The meeting, which was held November 16th at the former president's offices in Foggy Bottom, sounds like a place from Harry Potter.
Either that or like some dirty porn star.
Foggy Bottom came as former Obama aides have encouraged the Democratic House member to run, seeing him as a capable of the same kind of inspirational campaign that caught fire in the 2008 presidential election. The only difference is Beto lost. That's a big difference.
So you got people from Obama's camp that want Beto to run, but what about Biden, who's
he was the VP?
I know it seems like he's trying to dip his toes into the water here,
We know why he picked Biden. He needed white guy. Come on. He needed a white guy. He needed someone so he can deflect his name, Barack Hussein Obama, away.
Do you think that
alone?
if Beto O'Rourke was around then, he would have been the VP?
Who knows? I mean, Beto O'Rourke could be VP now.
Biden O'Rourke?
It's possible. Biden O'Rourke, but let me finish this. The meeting was the first sign of Obama getting personally involved in conversations with O'Rourke, who, despite his November loss in a U.S. Senate race in Texas, has triggered more recent discussion and speculation than any other candidate in the burgeoning 2020 field. So O'Rourke really is thinking about doing this. And if the financiers of the DNC get behind him, he can actually mount a run for the candidacy. I mean, you have Beto O'Rourke. Who else is there? I mean, he didn't even win, but come on, Biden, Hillary, Alexandria Dan Cortez, or whatever her name is.
She's not going to run.
She can't even add.
You know how bad she would slip up in a debate against Trump?
Oh, that would be amazing.
It would be a bloodbath.
She would just leave. She would get triggered and leave. She's one of those millennials where everything triggers her, so she thinks she has PTSD, because she's seen her pals and her friends' intestines get blown out of their bodies and trying to put them back in. Her PTSD from whatever happened to her is the same as that. Her eyes, she looks like she has something. There's something wrong with her. She has those buggy eyes.
A lot of those fucking people have those eyes.
It's Prozac.
You think?
I think so. It's pharmaceuticals. It does something to you.
She's a fucking stupid bitch. I hate her.
That's nice. At least we know where you stand. I'm Dan Cortez's sister.
Dan Cortez.
Dan Cortez. Remember Dan Cortez?
Who is Dan Cortez?
Dan Cortez was a VJ which stands for video jockey from MTV. And who cares about Dan Cortez? When joining us right now is Pat Dixon. Pat, how are you doing tonight?
I don't see him. Oh, there he is.
He's there.
He's getting himself situated. He's still on mute.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
No. Now you hear me now, right?
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, okay. I wish that you could have the last part of your conversation again and then say my name again, but that can't be done.
No.
You guys were talking about Dan Cortez, right?
Yeah, Dan Cortez. And then I saw you, and then it was supposed to be a professional segue, but
And
that just didn't happen.
And you said, here's Pat Dixon. And I said, who cares about Dan Cortez? And I said, hello, Burger King people.
That would have been funny if people heard it.
Would have been a riot. Well, I guess sometimes you can't go back and pick those things up. You know?
No, it's dead. But what I did pick up when we went to your live New York City crime report at where was it, the West Side Comedy Club last month, your wife gave me a CD, White Devil.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah, I listened to it. It was from what, 2003?
Yeah, 2002, actually. Yeah,
2002. Yeah,
I think it's when it was recorded. Yeah,
yeah, that's on iTunes. It was really funny. I mean, it's young you, which is kind of weird to hear. You don't sound as jaded and cynical.
That's I'm more of I got more hope now though than I did then, which is ironic.
No, that's true. I mean, but reporting on New York crime for all the years and all the different stories that you've told and seen, I mean, can kind of get you down in the dumps sometimes, I'm assume, when you read about Jamaicans ripping off people's heads in the middle of 8th Avenue.
I forget. You know what it is? It's really just it's in my head when I'm writing jokes about it, and then like I do the shows, and then mostly I forget all about it once it's over. So when I go back and look at some of the stories that we covered, I go, "Oh wow, that happened. That sounds wow, that's terrible," you know. And I, who can remember every detail? You know, I mean, there's just no room in your head for that. So nah, I feel fine. And plus, I don't really have an emotional attachment to that kind of shit anyway. You know, like a lot of people do.
Right.
But just most of the stuff that happens, it's not in your neighborhood or not to somebody you know. So more or less, it's like a comic book.
Are there any stories over the years that really kind of have stuck out though?
Sure. I mean, one thing that I remember, obviously, the kid who got his feet cut off down in Borough Park. Well, he didn't just get his feet cut off. He got murdered, abducted, murdered, and then he got his feet cut off. But when they came to, the cops knocked on the murderer's door. They said, "Where's the kid?" And then they, he just gestured towards the freezer. They opened it up and they found his feet right away. Libby Kletsky down in Borough Park is who that was. Yeah, and that guy ended up going on trial. No, not going. Well, I guess he was. He didn't go to trial. He was insane. He was not guilty because of not guilty, but what do you call it?
Insanity.
Yeah, just crazy. Whatever. Yeah, they just said this is too sad. We're just gonna stop.
Now, did you at the time of telling the story? Did you make a cold feet joke? Because it's there somewhere.
Oh, sure. I'm sure we did. I mean, we might have missed that, but I hope we didn't. I might have to go back and find a reason to cover that again. We did have his attorney. We did have his attorney on an episode, though. Okay. And he's he's a legend, and he's in New York. Howard Greenberg.
Yep. Yeah. I think I saw you've had him on a couple times now.
Yeah. And I've had him on Crime Report on Compound as well. So I've interviewed him for we've had him on both versions of the podcast, New York City Crime Report and Crime Report. He's great. He looks like kind of a crazy composer or something, like he has this weird method to his madness kind of deal. He's Greenberg is truly different,
Interesting. So with your shows, so that some of the new listeners know, you have two different podcasts. You have crimereport.nyc, which is audio only. And it's a normal podcast like this, like we're doing now. And then you have the Compound Media one, which is a totally separate show that uses video, and you put vaginas on people's faces and you talk about crime.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Crime is in both cases is sort of a theme and like a stepping off point to talk about other stuff. And another difference is that we only talk about New York City crime and New York City Crime Report, and then the other show on Compound Media, it's from everywhere. It's international, which is good. Right. And the reason I did that is because too much crazy shit happens in India. And I just was sick of not talking about it, it's too fun. India is man, and we've done shows about Florida as well. Florida and India, they both need their own show.
So the India Crime Report, because Sal and I were talking about earlier show, why don't we do a spin-off New Jersey Crime Report? Because there's plenty here. That's insane stuff. We reported on a former classmate that was in the NFL of ours that tried to kill someone with a samurai sword.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's there's stuff there, but it's specifically India. Why India more than like China or Vietnam or something?
Oh, well, China is also good, but India is huge, and it's it's also part of Asia, but it's just it's so massive that there are a lot of different regions and a lot of different, styles of people, I guess. Now, I don't know anything about that, but, right. They do. It does make a difference in what kind of stuff you have. For instance, we covered something from the Western part. They're trying to get, there was somebody called a godman. And so he has an agent who works for him, and a godman is like what would we call it here? I guess kind of like a confidence man, who, except, he just is like, he comes from their old guru kind of.
Okay.
So he's this old guru, and he's got an agent. That agent convinces a girl's family, 15-year-old girl, that they basically should let him have sex with her. In exchange, they'll get a lot of treasure.
Holy shit.
Treasure. Was that the word that was used? Treasure?
Treasure, spirit, hidden treasure. Yeah.
I could get this treasure.
Gold coins and things.
Doubloons.
So, it's rather like pimping out your 15-year-old daughter, right, in a sense, but, supposedly they believe they would get some treasure from it. What difference does it make if a spirit's paying you or, the guy who wants to have the sex, I guess, it's like puts a middleman in there.
Gotcha.
But anyway, obviously, the guy had sex with. They're like, well, okay, we do want treasure. So they were just now sentenced to sue. They got 5 years. The family did, but the godman got 7 years, and they didn't get their treasure.
So there was no doubloons. There was no treasure to be had at all.
No, but the 15-year-old did get a lot of penis, I think. Probably.
So there was a lot of raping. Well, is there?
Yeah. She did get that. So somebody got that. They weren't all losers, I guess.
Yeah.
She had the memories.
She now has PTSD as her prize.
Yes, and I guess I suppose the family just began to become suspicious. When the treasure did not arrive immediately from the spirit.
I fucking love that.
Like a genie.
There's another reason they want to perform these rituals, these sexual rituals. So there's a law there in India. This is kind of the point. I forget the exact name of it, but it basically explains what's illegal. It's like a black magic like act or something like that. Mm-hmm. And there's 12 basic things that you can't do, and or 12, there's a list. Right. And like clauses in the law, basically, and they'll say things like, anybody who tries to convince anybody that they can work miracles and uses that to threaten somebody or trick somebody out of their money, that's illegal. Anybody who forces somebody to eat their own feces, anybody who takes somebody mentally challenged and convinces people that they have magic powers in order to gain money.
Wait, well, hold on. So someone's convincing a retard that they have magical powers, or
No,
that
no,
the
no,
retard
no,
has
no,
magical powers.
no, yeah, convincing others that they had that, you know, that this retard has magical. There's a magic retard. Yeah,
That's
I
the
have-
phrase I was waiting for. Magic retard.
I will set loose my magic retard on you if you don't give me, you know, 1 trillion rupees, which is like $1,200. You know, something.
Imagine, I guess and for magic retards, like normal retards, you would have cages. And the magic ones, the cages, they don't work.
You cannot cage a magic retard. That's what makes them so dangerous.
Yeah, they'll come after you. There's no caging magic retards.
That's all that stands between the world and utter chaos is the bars between us and them.
So if
that's what they're afraid of, I think, is the breakdown of their society.
The analogy, it's actually an analogy. It's very brilliant for radical Islam in the Western world. Radical Islam is the magic retard in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going to go with this.
The magic retard.
Speaking of retards, you got into a tussle with someone about retards once. Bonnie, the comedian.
I kind of figured we were just having that as a private reference there, but sure, I guess, yeah, that happened. And it wasn't really about that. You know, as I keep telling people that I don't think it was really about that because I didn't say anything offensive.
No, you didn't.
I was just told not to talk about that at all.
Gotcha.
And then I was half a sentence into saying something, and she, freaked out, but nothing bad came out.
Okay.
She just left before it could get funny. She left for.
Yeah, she took off, right?
Totally unnecessary.
So and people voted that when Anthony Cumia was away in Compound Media, I guess in rehab or whatever, that show was voted by the listeners like the best replacement host show, right? That one.
Yeah. And they've never asked me to do it again. I mean, I should be the regular guest host, right? But no.
Yeah, you would think.
They usually pre-shoot that stuff now. Yeah, people loved it. There was a lot of conflict, and a lot of stuff happened. Like they left, they came, and then Rich came back, and Bonnie came back. My wife shows up. Gavin McInnes comes on. It's like, it's just insane. Everybody weighs in on this. It was a crazy episode. It never really, about the time you sort of get used to one conversation happening, another one starts with, Rich lost it. What it really was. The reason there was such a lasting impact on that is people started tweeting about it and commenting on it and stuff. And
gotcha.
They were really nasty to Bonnie in particular, and also Rich.
Right. And that's not necessary. What's on the show is a show. That's what it is. But once you start taking it, you're harassing people on Twitter because of, they're disabled, family members. That's just
it wasn't so much because of that. It was more like because of their reaction.
Because of the reaction. Okay.
But like there were some funny ones, and I kind of enjoyed it myself personally. But because they were saying like well handled by me. I mean because there was like a certain kind of hypocrisy going on there. Rich had been talking about it, everything on the show, saying like, "Well, you shouldn't be able to censor people," whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Except for mentally challenged people. That's the only thing you should never talk about as a comedian." And I was trying to say, they're the only ones that are never going to know.
You're right.
If there's anybody, it's kind of okay to talk about. I mean, like, why should it hurt the feelings of somebody? I have a relative. I have a niece who is, severely retarded. And,
I have a cousin like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get what could be beautiful about that, and how it's like not this is not it's you got to distance yourself somewhat. You can't bring every ounce of emotional vulnerability you have into a comedy show and expect to enjoy things in life. I think anyway. So I just didn't see it as and that's really, I think that it's also like an excuse that people have in order to, make you shut up about something or get you in trouble or or whatever. You know, it's like she was personally offended by a couple of things going on in the show, and so that was kind of like her wedge issue. And they weren't buying it. The fans weren't buying it, so they tweeted and they said all this stuff, which I didn't want to see anybody get attacked, but I did enjoy this one. You know, like on the way out, like, you know, no, I recall what somebody wrote. Somebody wrote, "Gosh, I can't believe Pat Dixon was so insensitive. You know, he doesn't he know Bonnie's married to a retard."
That's the best one. That wins Twitter.
That was on a YouTube. It was a YouTube comment on it because somebody put it up on YouTube. You can see all this stuff happen.
Yeah.
It's also up on Compound, of course.
Of course, compoundmedia.com.
So I have to be proud of that stuff because I ended up getting banned from a club because of it.
You got banned from a club in the city because of it?
Yeah.
Jersey.
Because of that. I mean, it turns out Rich Voss is the booker of the Stand's like favorite comic. And so like when they told him about it, you know, of course it was he's like, well, I'll tell you what. And he says, of course, you know, they claim it's not about that, but I haven't done a single set paid for by the Stand since that time. And I used to work there several times a month, so you know,
so what else could it be but that? I mean, you're not a retard.
Yeah. It's not like I'm a retard, dudes. Come on. I wouldn't expect Bonnie's sister to understand what's going on. Maybe you could go sell the story to her. But I personally know better.
Yeah. I mean, this happened well over a year ago, but it's
2 years ago. Almost two.
Yeah, two years ago? That long ago?
I think so. Yeah, I think this was in 16.
Holy shit.
I think it was in 16. Yeah, I believe it was in 16. Yeah, because I was supporting Trump. He wasn't president. Yeah, I believe that's what happened. And I'll tell you something kind of funny about it. My whole joke was that what I was trying to say at the time is that retarded people are not encouraged to have sex with each other because they may, you know, have progeny.
Right.
And that's not encouraged. That's not, you know, they can't do that. They're not, you know, not really what you would call, they can't consent by law. Somebody who's mentally challenged can't give consent. So any sex that happens to a retarded person is by law rape.
Rape. Yeah.
So I was just trying to talk about these things, you know, and then that's what Bonnie got so upset about, because I was claiming that the retarded people could not have children or something like that.
Right. It's just when you said the word retarded, it's kind of just alerts and everything else just got, you know, didn't go into the head. It's just the word just set her off, I guess, or the conversation.
Already mad at me about something else, you know, looking for an opening. But so I don't think she was seeing red about something else, I think. But all I was trying to say is that they're not encouraged to procreate, right? Right. That's what I was trying to say. They're not encouraged to have kids. And, you know, she gets so upset saying that it isn't true, all this stuff. And her sister had just gotten a hysterectomy, an involuntary hysterectomy, which is the one where you can't have kids anymore, right?
Right. Yep.
As like a fucking, she's like 13 or something like that. That's the link they were going to make sure that she didn't have sex and have kids.
Right.
So, I mean, like, clearly they're not encouraged.
Yeah. If you're taking out the uterus of a 13-year-old girl.
The opposite of encouragement, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Disencouragement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's discouraged.
Some people would call it discouragement. Yeah, discouragement. Yeah.
Female genital discouragement.
Yeah.
Were they Muslims?
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah. No, so I don't know. I just wanted your take, you know, after all this time on that, you know, what happened. You know, it's been years now, 2 years apparently, since that all happened. And there, I guess, hasn't been a reconciliation.
Reconciliation. No
the situation of the reconciliation.
Not gonna be any, you know, like it's because she'll never, you know, we that was pretty clear right away. You know, we texted about it or whatever. And I was like, look, let's talk. There's nothing to talk about. She started texting all caps, and she's like really unhappy, and that's it. Yeah, no, it's too bad, because like we were pretty good friends with Rich and Bonnie, but and my wife, they kept saying like, oh, her wife. I mean, they did a whole podcast talking about what a loser I was, and then they pulled it when I, once I contacted them about it. So kind of lame.
Yeah. If you're gonna go there, just keep it up, go all the way. I mean, if you're gonna destroy your friendship and burn a bridge, do it. Don't do it half-assed.
Well, it was making my wife so upset. So like in a way, I'm kind of glad that because she really hated that they did that. But I didn't care personally. I thought it would have been kind of cool to have something up of Rich talking about like he's never written for the Oscars.
Okay, he's never written for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying that I was threatened by Bonnie's credits or whatever, and he can't handle a woman being more successful than me. I'm like, if I couldn't handle a woman being more successful than me, I would have hung myself years ago. There's tons.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you wouldn't have married your wife, who has a wonderful new book out.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out she's more successful. Book came up after I came along, by the way. So
fair enough.
But you're right. No, she does at least have the capacity to be more successful if she's not. I'm probably dragging her down a little bit. At least I could still do that, right? But
right.
Yeah,
at least he could be an anchor on someone's career.
Exactly. If I could be a millstone around one woman's neck, that I will have done my job on this planet. I'm really just trying to keep any woman from reaching her potential. And
this is the third time, right?
And this is 3 that I've done. Yeah.
You're getting there.
Once I kind of like get that final, pretty much shit can a woman's life, I'm out of there. I got to go I got a lot of work to do.
You're just a wife ruiner.
Make the planet safe for mediocre people with penises. Yes. I think there's probably an acronym for that. Anyway, you're talking about Unwifeable, the book. Yeah, it's out. It's really gotten a lot of great press and attention, and people love the book, and men, women, everything. It's at unwifeablebook.com. But I'm really proud of her, and I really like the book. What I've read of it anyway. It seems to be a good book.
Okay. All right.
I offered to let her put that on the cover as a blurb, but she passed. It seems to be a good book. She didn't want to put
it seems to be a good book.
That would be great.
Yeah. Unwifeablebook.com will take you right where you need to go. Yeah, so she's true. She's really, man. I mean, like everything I'm saying, she is she's something else, like not a lot of women would want to be with anybody who even jokes about shit like that. But she's a real winner.
Well, last week we had a comedian Stephen McCarthy on, and I met him at your show, and we were talking about how in comedy it seems like the people like Sarah Silverman and Patton Oswalt, they did all these outrageous, funny things for so many years. And then once they got to the top of the mountain, they closed the door and said, no, you can't do that funny thing that I did 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that happening?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that did happen. Yeah. They had something to lose, I guess they figured at some point, and started, behaving a little bit. Both of them have been, they've both been famous for a long time.
Super famous.
Yeah, for a while, so I think they were famous for a while, and not maybe the behaving thing. I think it just came over them as gradually as it came over everybody else.
Right.
And then the fact that they kind of made their bones with stuff a little bit more outrageous, that's just part of the deal, like I think they play by the same rules as anybody now for the most part, but they do get a little bit more leeway because they are perceived as playing for the same team as, the right team. Whereas a joke that, they're not going to get Twitter banned or whatever for some of the things that have gotten Anthony Cumia or Gavin or any of the Proud Boys or whatever.
I mean, Alex Jones, they claim they banned him over what was that? The shooting in Connecticut from 5 years ago, Sal, right?
Well, they were pissed about that, but he ultimately got banned because he got into the face of a CNN reporter. It had nothing to do with anything he said on the air.
Has nothing to do with social media. So it's his offline behavior got him banned online.
Well, yeah, and really the best part of that is that not only was it offline behavior and real life behavior and everything, but he was not doing anything in that situation either that a person shouldn't be allowed to do. You know? I mean, he was about as respectful to that reporter he was speaking to as Jim Acosta was to the president. And I guess that little fruitcake reporter is so much more important than Donald Trump, you know, as president of the United States. It's a shame how it's not even hypocritical because they don't believe it either. They're just looking for a reason to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the other people are just stupid. The people who follow that and go, you know, and the one that they really like to go to is that one, I guess, Newtown thing.
Yeah, the Newtown. Yep.
Yeah, Newtown, which was, you know, number of years ago, 5 years ago. And they'd say that, you know, he harassed the parents of survivors or the parents of victims or, you know, whatever it was. And I just don't think that he did. I don't think that by looking into something, you're harassing somebody. If some people that he, you know, who like his show got riled up and went down there and did some stuff, that I don't know. But I just don't think that it's
the harassment they speak of was guests and callers on his show saying that the tragedy never happened. It's a hoax, and he stated you know, numerous times, you can go back and check my shows. I never said that, but I allowed people to speak, you know, as crazy as it may sound. I let them say it. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and he also was playing devil's advocate and you know,
exactly
true and false versions. I mean, he did nothing wrong, but they know that that's the thing that sounds the worst, so they use that as their go-to for it and to vilify him. And you know, taking a controversial position, I guess, is you know, not something that they want happening, and that is very suspect to me. You know,
Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, thank God, but Donald Trump has, in my opinion, has done some pretty outrageous stuff over the years on Twitter that could possibly be deemed bannable by the terms of service, calling people stupid and losers and, you know, whatever, making fun of people, because that could be bullying. So they won't deplatform the president, but they'll deplatform an Alex Jones, a Gavin McInnes, the Proud Boys accounts, and everything else for almost the exact same thing. So what people are clamoring for, I think, right now is just what's the standard? What are the rules that we have to follow so we can actually speak our words online? Our website, newmediacentral.net, our Twitter got shut down. The show Twitter got shut down. And all the website Twitter did was retweet the articles. It didn't engage with anybody.
Right. There you go. That's what it is. You have to be on the other team in order to speak your mind. And that's the terms of service. You can be Antifa and you can have all the violent stuff up that you want, or, you know, you can be even David Duke, you know, is still on there, you know, and he has I understand a past that could be, you know, by some considered to be controversial, you know, as a prominent member of the KKK, but he's still there because he's not attracting his name is mud, and he's not attracting a lot of new, you know, people to his cause. Yeah, so like the Proud Boys were. That's why they all their accounts were removed. And of course, they were growing and they were thriving and they were winning and they were like, you know, and the reason they were growing is because it's through attraction. You know, they're what they're talking about is interesting to people their age, and they can't let that happen. So that's why Gavin got removed as well, is because he was, you know, he was successful he was doing well, and and they don't want they're trying to not let that happen.
Right.
Losing control. A lot of Antifa. Where there were some pretty good videos of Proud Boys just pummeling
Yeah.
these criminals, these terrorists.
Yep.
And they couldn't leave that on. And Antifa got so mad, and they were able to get them off Twitter, and then beyond that, they're able to sort of win the PR war. How Antifa wins a PR war?
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
that's
they're anti-fascist, therefore everyone else is a fascist.
Yeah, that's right. When they report on them, they don't call them Antifa; they call them a group of anti-fascists.
Right. Exactly.
That is great. That's like, but they don't call the Proud Boys a group of proud boys.
No.
They call them, Proud Boys, who are a hate group as designated by the SFLA, which is, come on, or what? No, the Southern Poverty Law.
The SPLC, right?
SPLC.
Are you on their list, Ian?
Am I on the SPLC, CSP, whatever list?
I believe.
Am I?
I know you're banned in like Finland or something.
I'm banned. I can't go to Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're banned from Sweden?
Yeah, I think so. They put out a list of Twitter users who are banned from Sweden or something. Then they rescinded it. I don't know. I haven't tried to go to Sweden, but I'm assuming I wouldn't be allowed entry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm assuming that about myself as well. Because I have no intention of going there. But
why go?
So yeah, I'll stop it myself. But you should take it as a compliment that they took you off Twitter, actually, because it shows that your audience is growing and that you're thriving, and they just want to speed bump that any way they can. So here's to you. Here's to New Media Central.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we're trying to do something different. We're trying to, put out new names in media, just different types of voices on the right. And now we're gone off of Twitter. So now I have to use my personal account. Sal has been banned. How many times have you been banned, Sal? 12?
Yeah, over close to 20, I would think. Almost. Yeah, and I think it's the Proud Boys. That's funny and all, but then you have a group of people that all they do is post statistics and demographics, and they post pictures of dogs alongside them, and they're a hate group.
Yeah,
the dog right.
The dog right's a hate group now.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
The dog right.
Yeah.
Hashtag dog right is hate speech.
Are they removed?
No, a lot of them are getting suspended on a daily basis. All they do is post statistics, mostly crime statistics and demographics, basically mostly racial, and it's nothing bad. It's not.
Well, it's truth, right? It's
not like in a form of an attack, but they have been labeled hate speech, and the hashtag is shadow banned. Accounts are getting thrown off. I think the reason why they're known is because Ann Coulter retweets a lot of their stuff, which is fine.
Yeah, which is a no. Once you get that,
he's secretly a member of the dog right, like obviously, and that is. See, Ann Coulter never gets. I don't believe they're fucking with throwing her off Twitter at this point, which I find. I guess her name is so it's not fresh, or something.
Yeah. But she's been around for a long time. I remember reading her books back in the, like 2002.
People have hated her. They've hated her forever. I mean, she's been so hated and vilified, and everything she says is not only true but pretty entertaining. And I noticed that there's like CNN tweeted something. It was somebody for CNN. I forget who it was, but he was tweeting about the what's the name of the guy who runs their little operation over there?
Zucker?
Anyway, Zucker, yeah. Quote from Zucker. He says, we are, dedicated. CNN sees its job as telling the truth as their job, and he goes, but the more you're pro-truth, the more you come off as anti-Trump. He goes, I understand that. There's a big difference in it between. Truth is a funny word, isn't it? Because I mean, telling the truth is so far removed from reporting the facts and what they see as the truth. that they tell, it's not really impacted by the facts that much. You know, I mean, they can make any facts, support what they believe is the truth. So when they say things like that, I kind of go, oh, okay, I guess I see, the truth in that. It's just that the word truth has become co-opted by a bunch of idiots or a bunch of communists, really.
Postmodern deconstructionists. They make the word whatever they want to make the word. Actually, Pat, I have a tattoo of Jesus, a huge tattoo of Jesus, believe it or not, on my forearm, and the Bible quote underneath is "Ye shall tell the truth, and the truth, or whatever, and the truth shall set you free." So, I mean, they just have, like you said, co-opted the word truth, and truth is what they tell you.
And yeah, exactly. And that's what puts it, ironically, that's the truth that puts people in a cage.
Yeah.
In terms of what they can say and what they can't.
Yeah. As far as, with the we're going back to the Proud Boys example and Gavin getting yelled at by the governor, getting investigated by the attorney general. It's Gavin. It doesn't make sense.
Watching Proud Boys created, it's a laugh.
Yeah.
People can go back to those old episodes on Compound and watch it. You can actually see Proud Boys come about bit by bit as he harasses, Ben there, that twerp in the booth. And it was never intended to be some kind of big. Yeah, I mean, what it's turned into is remarkable. The fact that it grew like wildfire.
Right.
So it just instantly became this thing that everybody who with a lot of sense was becoming a part of internationally. Ireland, every English-speaking country has a chapter. And that's just a tribute to how much something like that was needed and how little that they felt that their voices were represented in any way. They all wanted to get together, hang out, have a beer, and talk about, life and shit like that. There's no political angle to any of that stuff at all. You just have to be culturally, unashamed, and culturally unashamed is something you're not allowed to be if you're a certain, type of person in this country. Right. I like your Jesus tattoo, by the way. I've seen it. If for people listening that they don't know, it's the one where Jesus is pulling up his sleeve and making a bicep muscle.
Yeah, and, that's the one. And it has a tattoo of Jesus on the bicep.
So perfect.
Now, so there was a big hole in, or a gap in the need for some sort of fraternal organization where guys can get together on the right and hang out and have a few beers. And then that fraternal organization turned into, we have Antifa attacking Ann Coulter, this waif of a woman, trying to beat her up. So the Proud Boys go, okay, we'll help you, Ann Coulter. And then Proud Boys are now hate group.
Yeah. Yeah, they with chapters everywhere. They would Portland or something like that, the prayer breakfast or whatever it was that those guys were doing.
Right.
They came to defend that. And, look, they don't attack anybody unless they're attacked first. Antifa are just terrible, terrible individuals. Countless videos of people like that and people affiliated with that group. Or, they're the villains in the story. No question. They are the militant arm of everything terrible that's happening in the press and in culture and politics. Right. So to lose that, I mean, to lose that kind of battle is really discouraging. In terms of like there ever being any kind of a reconciliation between the press and thoughtful, rational society.
Right. You need some reconciliation. Okay. So you have all this nonsense happening, right? You got the Proud Boys being banned, Gavin being banned. How the hell is Pat Dixon, who says magic retard, still on Twitter?
I don't know. I've never even gotten a warning except one time, and it happened to be when I told Ben Ratner I was going to punch his face in. I was going to I'm going to beat your face in when I see you, and he reported me to Twitter. And believe that? That's the only time, and I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I think it's that. I guess I don't get enough love from a lot of. I mean, like I have great tweets, I think, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
say
maybe
whatever I want. I don't censor myself at all, and
no.
and they just they don't seem to care.
You know
So
what?
that's
I bring this up a lot, but we were on the Compound Media Show with you. I think this is like the first or second time we were up there, and you pointed a gun at the camera and said something like, "Muslims, we're coming to get you. We're gonna find you," or something like that. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, and no, you know, it's no pushback, nothing, no reaction. The world is indifferent.
I think
Everything-
it's because you're comedian Pat Dixon and not opinion guy Pat Dixon.
Well, he also doesn't engage leftists because once you do that, they never forget you, and they'll wait for you. They'll just sit there and wait for you to come back, and they'll just keep reporting you over and over.
Yeah, they beat it into the ground, and I don't. You're right about that. I stopped even looking at replies and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know what all I've missed in terms of, you know, support or you know, potential work opportunities or what. I don't know, whatever people, you know, people going like, hey, I know a place that should hire you, you know, but like I ignore it. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to get involved.
Right.
You know, you spend a lot of time, you know, formulating a response that's going to just like, you know, stuff somebody in you know.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that there's no flat earth at 4 a.m.
Right.
Why are you doing that? Driving yourself insane at that point.
Yeah, it's you know, Twitter's a snake pit. It's just an absolute snake pit. I avoid it. I mean, I look at it every day. I say I avoid it, but I mean, I look at it to find out what's going on with a certain group of people, you know, and to get news and, you know, see what the president's saying. Because we do Trump on Thursdays at Compound, and it's you know, obviously about Donald Trump and how great he is, and about, you know, just the Trump era in general. You know, one of our segments on there, Allah in the Family, is just reports, you know, what's going on internationally with you know, radical Islam and sort of like Europe caving to it to a certain degree, and us caving to it to a certain degree.
Now, is the Trump show? What time is it on Thursdays?
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Okay,
we opted for the PM.
Yeah.
Although, you know, stuff like work hour stuff would probably be a good time to do that. A lot of people listen to their radios and stuff during that time, and I think that our coverage stands up against anybody else's.
And is it live, the Thursday show?
It's sometimes, I mean, like, I'd love to be able to say yes, and a lot of times it is, you know, but since we every once in a while will pre-tape one, we you know, usually yeah, but every once in a while, so I can't say always.
Okay, gotcha. So most of the time you're live and reporting live of what's going on with Donald Trump, what's happening in the Muslim world, which someone's usually getting their hand cut off or something get lit on fire.
A lot of children being raped and stuff, but like whenever like 37 people at ISIS blow themselves up trying to, you know, set up an IUD or something, that's also of note, you know, for us. They excuse me. And then, you know, that's not really the focus. That's just the one segment. Right. We talk about, we have a segment, Good Guy with a Gun, you know, which will always have a story about, you know, somebody whose home was broken into, or somebody tried to rob somebody who had the gun. And because those stories are, you know, way underreported. They don't really get the kind of traction and interest. You know, people say that the people just aren't really, a lot of people I'm talking about now, most people I think are still in favor of guns in this country, but you know, the group that controls the press, or which the press controls, whichever way you see it, they you know, they don't want to see this idea that like that guns are really doing a lot of valuable things, you know, saving lives. You know, guns are saving a lot of lives that are pretty important. And I think anyway, you know, I mean, people who want to live enough to protect themselves and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And you always see the stories, young black teen gets shot, or, you know, whatever, cops shooting. Those are the stories out of the headline stories. But you very rarely see Dallas homeowner defends himself against burglar or possible rape, or, you know, those things are never, you know, front page news for some reason.
Oh, sure. And the actual, you know, adjectives for somebody change according to what's going on. You know, like please shoot unarmed black man. You know, they want to hear that, but not unarmed black man rapes woman. You know,
Right? Yeah. No armed black man.
Yeah. Armed, unarmed. You know, the unarmed is never mentioned if it doesn't help.
Right. I mean, but.
And you never see armed black man. You're right. Like if a cop shoots a guy who does have a gun, it's just cop shoot black male, you know, whatever. Not, you know, they certainly don't give you any context that's going to mitigate the outrage that they're trying to stir up.
Yeah, they're doing their outrage manufacturing, so they have to, like you said, use or not use certain adjectives. So maybe they'll leave out armed and they'll just say black teen, you know, things like that.
Yeah,
and when you can tell, like when you know what the media does and their little tricks that they do, it's just it's every day. You're like, motherfucker. Again, with the changing the words around, this word soup, where you can make anything you want it to be reality.
Yeah, totally. And more of that. That's what they're doing. And in a more outrageous way than ever. You know, the headline will often contradict the lead of the story. You know, they juice up the headline and then you read, well, no, that's not what happened at all. You know, but they do it. And I'm talking about NBC News and everything.
Yeah.
They, the fact that they try to call anybody like Breitbart like fake or, you know, like whatever. The term fake news, the way Trump co-opted it and began to use it, is one of the more impressive kind of feats that I've seen a political figure do in my lifetime.
Right.
You know, he owns that term and it's much more accurately applied in his mouth.
Right. It's especially when the media, Sal, what was the percentage? It was like 98% of the media negatively reports on Trump. Some outrageously high number. Sal, do you remember?
I do not. I think it was definitely in the 90s though.
It was in the 90s. In the 90s that the media reports negatively. You think, okay, 70, 60. 92% of the stories about the president are negative. You know, imagine if that was done to Obama. He wouldn't have been president.
Not only that, but imagine, you know, what the real number is, because I honestly think that they don't consider some of the things that they write to be negative. I don't know where the poll came from, and I'm sure it's a reputable source, but it has to be even higher, because like they don't if they just go, well, President Trump's a liar. Well, that's not negative. It's just a fact.
Right. Yeah. That's it. And
people talk about his list of lies and all that kind of stuff. When you look at what that list actually consists of, it's stuff like, you know, the thing that Jim Acosta corrected him on. Do you remember that? Like saying like, well, it's not an invasion, sir. He calls it an invasion. That's a lie. You know, then now you're talking about everything that anybody ever says is a lie. You know, or could be considered one. They're awful, man. Their reporting is just, I don't know who they fool. Right. I just wonder who can read that would read this and say this isn't wildly biased. I can't imagine.
Someone in the chat, right, Night 70, he said, on my local news, they never use black when reporting crime unless it's a black that's a victim. Do you find that it's the same in New York? They'll say youths or something like that instead of black.
Definitely. Yeah. And they also don't report the. That's a good point that person makes, because they also don't report the race of the officer unless it's a white officer and a black perpetrator. You know, they just don't. They won't say black you know, black man shot by black officer.
Right.
They don't make a big deal out of that, but they always will put white in the headline if that's the case. So white is now the pejorative, and it's not mentioned if a black cop shoots a white guy. It's not black officer shoots white man. You know, it's the use of racial terms like that has it's not only have they stopped saying black, but then they've turned white into a pejorative.
Yeah. So they don't use the word black. They say youths. Whenever I see a news story on CBS and they're building up to their news, they go, "Youths attack woman in the elevator," and well, yeah, they definitely were youths.
Yeah.
All right, they got that part right.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it,
like say if there's some kind of a situation where some black youths are running afoul of the law at a protest or something like that, a
Right.
BLM march, then they say protesters and police clashed, clashed with they clashed. What do you mean they clashed? Like one where they were told to do something or to stop doing something they were doing, and then they started fighting the cops or rebelling, or clashed is another term that they use like that. Yeah, that just kind of sanitizes the whole thing, just like youths.
Youths. In the UK, it's Asian. They say Asian instead of Muslim.
That's priceless. Yeah. That is priceless. That's exactly what you imagine in your mind when someone refers to Asians.
Yeah, you think Chung Li or Ching Chang Chow. No, it's Muhammad. Is the leader of the rape gang in Rotherham or whatever. It's not Ching Chang.
Ching Chang Chow was my favorite character in Street Fighter 2, by the way.
But it's just how they manipulate the words, and people who aren't obsessed with this stuff like us, they just go about their day, and I don't blame them. They're working normal jobs, and they turn on the news, and they're talking about youths assaulting people or Asians leading rape gangs, and I go, what's up with all these Chinese people and rape?
They didn't even say rape gangs; those are grooming gangs.
Grooming, you can't use the word rape.
Yeah, a bunch of Asians in a grooming gang clashed with a woman's vagina.
Remember in Dallas when those 5 officers were shot, and the media had it as a story for the time it occurred, and now nobody even mentions that there are these cops being slaughtered by youths, I'm assuming, and nobody cares. I mean, remember when the cops they were sitting in their car in New York City, and they were both shot in the head?
Yeah.
And it gets media coverage, but it doesn't get the amount of media coverage that it would if it was switch situations. Switch the situation.
And also, they don't cover it with the same amount of emotion and impact and like sort of just absolute. They don't damn it the way you would think that they should. A lot of people sort of figure, well, cops are in that job. If they get shot, that happens. Police sometimes get killed, but they don't. And they also don't. They strenuously remove whoever that is from the cause. They don't make it a BLM guy doing that, which is exactly what it was. Whether or not he was, like BLM that's a loose affiliation. It isn't something where you got your membership card on you or something.
You can't get kicked out of BLM. Where Proud Boys, they can kick people out, they could disavow people. BLM, you're just BLM. You're a supporter.
Well, right. Or even if you are, if it seems as if they don't emphasize any connection, between that guy who pulled the trigger and killed those cops in Dallas and all the protesting and rioting that had been going on and everything that had gotten. I mean, because really they'd be pointing the finger at themselves. The press would. They are the ones who give life to all this stuff. I mean, like when they talk about how uncivil it is now, my God, it's so uncivil. It's like that's you guys. That's not. People say, oh, President Trump he's set this tone. He set this confrontational tone, and everybody hates each other because of Trump. It's like that's not from people listening to Trump's speeches or reading things that Trump wrote or from his Twitter or anything like that. It's from the way you report on these things. Because a lot of people, Trump's got a lot of followers, sure, but a lot of people who don't like him and are going to be outraged are not necessarily following him. And a lot of people just aren't on Twitter because they don't have time to mess with that anyway. So like I said, to somebody who's just kind of like distant and not researching this stuff all the time, they don't, it's easy to miss what's actually happening, and I know what you mean. You can't blame them. Hell, they're probably happier than we are. But
we're having coronaries over the word youths, and
we sound like maniacs sometimes, because we're just talking about like all this stuff that you can see. It's so visible, and like, and to them, it just sounds like you're parsing out meanings and assigning a lot of importance to stuff that really doesn't matter, because it's the overall pattern of it. Like watching it and knowing like, well, what does it do to call them Asians and not Muslims? And what purpose does that function? And realize it does, or serve rather, what function does it serve? It really does do something. It really does, create this dishonesty and this, this thing that's not really, just fooling people. And there's a definite agenda there that you can see.
Okay.
The New York Times today, I'm reading about, they got rid of one of those of their Soros funded university there. They have to leave. That's a huge victory. That's great. They stopped the gender studies program a year ago, last year. That's awesome. Their coverage of it makes it sound like this dictator has taken over. He is tightening control on freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. And that's the New York Times, that goes along with their, he is vilified. He spent years talking shit about Soros, this guy.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
they don't really, they're not talking about what Soros is up to.
Oh no, George Soros is only a right-wing thing. We made him up. He's our enemy, the target. He's the devil. He's not, he's not real. No, he's real. There's connections, and I can show you them. How he funds the Antifa and all these shit groups. They're real.
To talk about him.
Yeah,
it's not even hidden. It's easy to find. Like you want to know what George Soros is all about. But there'll come a time when you won't be able to Google that stuff and find it. Google has Google itself, and you can't trust Google anymore.
Right. I use DuckDuckGo. You ever hear that one?
I have, and I'm going to, as of this moment, I'm going to DuckDuckGo and using that.
Yeah, that's what I've been using instead of Google, because Google, they they're giving you a free service, wink, wink, free, while gathering all your information and getting all your shit.
Yeah, I wonder what happens when you type American inventors and search it in DuckDuckGo.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus Google. Let's do a test. Let's see. Google.
Holy shit.
Did you do DuckDuckGo, Sal?
No, I did Google first.
You did go. Yeah, it's all black people and Thomas Edison.
And Thomas Edison ranks like what? Is he about the 7th, 8th one mentioned?
Yeah, he's the 7th or 8th one in. And
They made his black and white. They put his black and white picture next to a black guy who's in color, so he blends in with the rest of the black people.
I mean, okay, DuckDuckGo. The first 4 are black, then it gets weird, but it's just almost the same thing. I don't know. It's interesting.
That is interesting, isn't it? At least they're not selling your information, though.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Category America. It gives you the Wikipedia page as like the first one of the first things. So,
what's the first thing on Google?
Google. Hold on.
The first result. It's not an image or whatever.
It's not an image. Let me see.
I think it has an article about the phenomenon that we're describing.
Great moments in Google. Yeah. It's Steve Saylor. It's a Steve Saylor article that he's talking about what we're talking about right now. If you go to Google and type in American inventors, you get back from Google pictures of the top American inventors of all time. Number 1 is Garrett Morgan, the great Garrett Morgan, Pat. He's
Yeah.
invented. I don't know.
He was on Saturday Night Live for a few seasons, I think.
Let's see. He invented the gas mask, originally named the smoke hood. So he didn't invent the gas mask. He invented the smoke hood, which other people turned into the gas mask.
Ah.
All right, but
Well-
kind of, sorta.
Well, CompStat was originally called Charts of the Future.
Charts of the future.
So I mean, sometimes the early version will have a different smoke hood, gas
Smoke
mask.
hood, yeah, fair enough. Let's see, and then number 2 is the great and well known Lewis Howard Latimer. I mean, we all know about him.
He made a famous improvement to the Super Soaker, I think.
Yeah, he put 2 tanks instead of 1 on it.
It was called the Gets People Wet gun at the time.
Yeah. Let's see. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell employed Latimer. So Bell isn't before him, but Bell's employee.
His intern.
His intern is more famous than him, according to Google.
Yeah, well, he's the true inventor, who got cheated out of his, whatever, blah blah blah. You get it.
That's the whole the meme. We was Kangs, the white man, the evil white man, went to Africa and stole all these amazing inventions, and then the black people, I guess, forgot how to make them. I don't know.
I guess
Latimer invented a. Well, he didn't invent. He improved the toilet system for railroad cars.
Good for him.
Wow, I'm sure that
that deserves the number 2 spot on Google.
That's exactly the spot it deserves.
Whoa, we're on fire tonight.
I like that. Yeah, the number 2 should be the number 1 and the number 2.
I don't. Well, their agenda is to, like you said, make white a pejorative, and just make truth this post-mortem deconstructionist, Jacques Derrida soup of whatever they want it to mean at the time, so they can get their agenda across. And that's truth. Yeah,
they want to. Any pride you might have in people who have done things in the past, they're transferring credit and progress and all that shit to somebody else,
right? Because white people can't do anything successful unless we stole it from someone first,
right? Yeah, let alone most all of it.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at Africa today, it's essentially like Australia. It has these big cities that are oh wait, no, it's not. It's not like Australia at all.
No.
It's worse.
Well, that's because of stuff we've done to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, we took all their diamonds and gold. I know. Anyway, Pat, I'm gonna let you go. It's getting late.
Yeah. Thanks for the talk, though. I appreciate it.
But it was a great talk. CrimeReport.nyc. Everything's in the description. Everything will be on newmediacentral.net. You can catch you on Mondays at what time? On Compound? 8 o'clock on Compound Media. Make sure you check him out. It's really funny. Sometimes Sal and I are up there, so you can see us there too. So it's always a good time. It's always a good show.
Thanks, man. And we're due to have you back, so looking forward to seeing you on there soon. Thanks.
Oh yeah, talk to you soon about that. Definitely.
Bye.
All right, later, Pat.
Thank you.
The great Pat Dixon, everyone. He was with us for a while. Yeah. I just didn't want to. When a conversation gets a flowing, I don't want to stop it.
I'm still sitting here reading about these inventors.
Yeah, apparently DuckDuckGo is shitty as well. What the fuck?
Maybe they are somehow piggybacking off of Google's algorithms.
Yeah. Yeah, someone actually, I'm looking in the chat right now. Bam Bam, one of our regular listeners said, yeah, DuckDuckGo is as well.
I mean, what are you going to do? What about Bing?
Bing. I know. Could we go to Bing? They usually have nice patriotic pictures up on, like, Veterans Day at least. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go to Bing.
It's Thomas Edison's #1. Okay, here we go.
Oh, Bing
White,
is
black,
the real
white.
search engine.
White, black, white. Well, they have Tesla in there. They have Franklin.
Whoa, yeah. Edison, Franklin, Bell, Tesla, all in the top 10. But,
Wait.
I mean, it's still mixed. Eli Whitney.
Where's the guinea that Italians get mad at? What's his name? Marconi.
Oh, he invented radio.
Yeah, but they credit that to did they credit that to Edison?
Well, Edison was a famous thief. Nikola Tesla can attest to that.
Oh, that's why
That's why in Edison, New Jersey, it's such a cesspool. You should see Edison, New Jersey. You know, you think it would be filled.
I've driven through it plenty.
You've seen it. Edison, New Jersey is where, you know, Menlo Park, that was Thomas Edison's laboratory. I'm half an hour away from it, maybe a little bit less at night. And it's basically Little India now.
I was just going to say that.
Of diversity. There's the only inventing going on there is how to make camel urine more palatable.
What?
Because there's Indians and there's Muslims and they drink the camel piss. Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, drank camel piss. Google it. Believe me. No, Bing it. Go Bing it. It sounds like a dirty sex act. I'm gonna Bing it real quick. Just doesn't sound right.
Bing these black inventors.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bing a black entrepreneur. That sounds like like a hate crime.
I'm typing that right now. I'm gonna post it. I'm going to Bing a black inventor.
So for the top 4, you got the peanut guy. Well, you have Thomas Edison, the guy who invented the peanut butter, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Graham Bell. And that's on Bing. So apparently Bing isn't as bad.
Yeah, they're trying. And if you go to the first image under images, it's 3 white men.
Oh, on Bing?
Yeah, it's a picture that it's like a patriotic looking picture with
Look at that. Yeah, you got Bell and Franklin. It's nice. I think I'm going to use Bing. I don't know. Bing looks like the way to go.
They're not as
And then in the images, they give you options. Actually, white American inventors, most famous inventors, Caucasian American inventors, happy American couple, black American inventors, and that's all the way at the end.
It sounds like a porn category. Happy American couple.
Wait a second. I just image searched on Bing white American inventors.
Oh,
and do it. There's no white people in the top row.
What the fuck, Bing? Come on,
Bing. We thought we had one good one. We just want one. We're not asking for much.
Now click on that white. No, click on the Caucasian one. It's the same exact thing.
It's the same thing. There isn't a white man till the second row.
I'm gonna see something. They should. I don't know why they show happy American couple. I'm gonna type happy Caucasian couple.
Well, when you type happy American couple, it's all black people hugging each other and looking like they're in pharmaceutical ads.
Well, the happy Caucasian couple. The second image is an interracial couple.
Oh, and happy American couple. In the third row, first picture. It's an ape hugging a white woman.
Yes.
Can you put that on the screen real quick?
Wait. On Bing?
Yeah, on Bing. The third row, happy American couple.
Okay, let me. Where is that? Where'd it go?
All this information is shit.
Wait, which you said third row?
Third row.
Yeah.
First picture in the third row.
Why don't I see that? Wait, I see
happy American couple.
Yeah, I'm in that. The third row, it's just on mine. It's a black couple.
Don't be mean. Here, I sent you the link. It's in the chat.
Hold on. Let me
Pull
see.
that up. See, podcast listeners, this is why you gotta listen live on Tuesdays,
Oh,
10 p.m.
wait, hold on. I have to put this. I have to keep the whole. I can't save it and then throw it up. I have to do it like this so you can see what you actually searched and you're not lying. Holy shit.
Right Knight in the chat, Right Knight 70, brings up a lot of good points. Trust nothing. He's right. You know, I know that I exist. That's all I know.
There you go.
I'm not even sure. You know, I just bought a new TV, Sal.
Yes.
Samsung. Love it.
You see what it's hold on. When you,
Okay, yeah, all right. Go back to the picture before we
yeah,
move
but
forward.
why does it say so I type in American couple, but then above it, how does it lead you to gorilla sex with girl?
The fact that that's a category just proves the degeneracy we are falling into. Forget about magical retards.
That was great. That was so funny. Oh man.
Oh God. Oh,
The whole thing
Jesus.
with the algorithms and the searches on Google used to be funny. And there was that stupid thing that they would make you type in, why won't my parakeet?
Right.
And if you type that in, it the first it auto completes it for you. And I don't know how, like, I guess a bunch of people somehow changed the algorithm to do that. So now it's like this meme from like over a decade ago. And if you type in why won't my parakeet,
Right.
it'll autocomplete why won't my parakeet eat my diarrhea? And Google's never fixed it.
I don't know. It just almost seems as if they're trying to make white people look bad.
I agree.
It's almost as if they're trying to make being European or your origins being European a negative. I tell my kids to be proud of who they are and who their ancestors were. I go over their homework with them. I see what they come home with. I go, no, Leif Erikson, because our last name is Erickson. So some pride there. Vikings, Polish. We helped stop the Muslims, the Polacks. I mean, we've been conquered a lot. We also done a lot. So
TVs you were talking about.
Oh yeah, I got a new TV, Samsung. Beautiful. I paid whatever. It's a beautiful new Samsung TV. And so the first thing I watch on it, The Matrix. Now I'm all in my head reading Kierkegaard again and Nietzsche. You can't do this to yourself. You can't have an existential crisis once a week. It's a bad look.
I mean, at least you got your new TV.
At least I got my new TV, which immediately after The Matrix, because I went all through all three of them. Boop, boop, boop. And they got worse.
So what are you reading now?
Well, what am I reading? Oh, I'm actually listening to Bronze Age Pervert's book.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say Nietzsche because I know Hitler read that, so you're Hitler now.
Oh, yeah, I'm Hitler. Everyone reads it. Well, not usually everyone, but if you want any philosophy 101, you've read it. Well, I don't know about college anymore. They're fucking assholes.
Philosophy is about modern feminism and how to be a thought.
Someone Right Night wrote, there's spy cameras in Samsung's TVs. Well, I guess they're a lot of butt shots. Good for them. It's for 20 hours of the day, it's my bed. That's it. I hate that. You can't. There's no getting around it unless you're fucking that guy Phil from Duck Dynasty and you live in the woods.
That guy in the chat. I wonder if he has like tape on his, like he only uncovers his screens when he's watching TV.
That's a good idea. You put tape on the camera, they can still hear you.
There's a famous picture of Mark Zuckerberg. He's posing in front of his computer, and he has tape over his own friggin' computer camera. He knows.
He knows. They all know. They all know. So let's get to something that's entertaining and instead of depressing. So there's a Archie article about a school in New Hampshire. I'm pulling it up. History class gone wrong. High schoolers caught chanting KKK jingle. Assignment sparks probe. And there's the pictures of like a black kid sitting in school and then the KKK and whatever. A lighthearted history assignment at a U.S. high school ended up with 2 students singing a racist KKK version of Jingle Bells in front of the class. I guess it wasn't the Batman Smells one, because I don't think Robin was in the KKK. A teacher has been suspended as the school is investigating how it came to be. An 11th grade history class at Dover High School in New Hampshire was instructed by their fun-loving teacher to change the lyrics to a Christmas song to tell the story about Reconstruction, the tumultuous period after the Civil War. And just as we know, that's when the Ku Klux Klan was formed, but whatever. Instead of a witty ballad about corrupt carpetbaggers, because that would have been fun. Carpetbaggers, carpetbaggers, carpetbaggers coming to the South End, doing stuff we don't like. The class was treated to something a bit more shocking. 2 boys apparently chose the Ku Klux Klan as their topic and composed a new KKK rendition of Jingle Bells featuring the slightly modified refrain saying, "Let's kill all." Okay, this is part of the song. This is part of the song. I don't want us getting shut down.
And you quote.
I quote, "Let's kill all the blacks."
Unquote.
Unquote. Another line went, "White masks on our heads, blood beneath our feet, laughing till they're dead. Ha ha ha."
That's not even. That's poorly written. Who cares?
At least they tried.
They should.
The risque rendition was caught on video by classmate Chloe Harris, who was appalled by how fellow students took enjoyment in the lyrics. When everyone was laughing, I got really frustrated. Harris, who is a mixed race, later told NBC 10 Boston, explaining she took the video because it would be the only evidence that the incident ever happened. She also said she walked out of the class and later expressed her disgust at the song to the teacher, asking what was the need to present it in such an insensitive way. The school soon went into damage control mode, placing the teacher on administrative leave while launching a probe in a Facebook post. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Who wants to hear the actual song, everyone? We want to hear the song. We want to hear the kids singing. So, Sal, we have the video.
Wait, it's in here? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, it's right underneath it. We have the video.
First off, if you look to the left,
for our podcast listeners, the audio. Go ahead.
If you look to the left at the article, you see the picture. It says "Child's Hitler Halloween costume unleashes storm of controversy." Photo. Does that look like a child in that picture?
Looks like Chris Hardwick. All right. Did you find the video? Or audio, whatever. It's right underneath it. Should be. Yeah, it says video.
Why don't I see that here? What the hell?
It says KKK Jingle Bells, the link, and then video, then the link. This is terrible production. Don't look at this. I'm looking at it.
On your screen.
I'm looking at it right now.
In the tweet?
No, in the docs.
In the docs. I'm still looking at the article. Son of a bitch. How about that?
It's in the chat.
I see it
the
now.
trees. White masks on our heads, blood beneath our feet, laughing till they're dead. Ha ha ha! The clan that was formed was 1865. Got shut down within 10 years, but we'll come back alive. Hey, KKK, KKK, let's kill all the blacks. Across their front yard and hope they don't come back. Oh, KKK, KKK, no longer politics. Keeping civil rights and is our true new gift.
Oh my God. So this video is from that Chloe.
Yeah.
Cannot be stopped. It's far too fun, so come along and watch those black folk run.
Politics, keeping civil rights inept is our new world gift. Now that we have left the country with these scars, there's no way they can go to school without hearing of us. Grand wizards left behind.
This is horrible.
We're here to stay, big shoes to fill in this society. Oh, KKK, let's kill all the blacks. We're across in their front yard and hope they...
Wait, just stop? Yeah.
That's the end of the video.
Now, it's funny, but it's horrible at the same time.
Yeah. There's a time and place. Maybe history class isn't a place. I don't know. It's just me. I thought it was funny. Maybe like if you're hanging out with your friends,
it would have worked.
That's the time. You tell jokes like where the punchlines are like you take your foot off his head, you hang one in the front, you put a now hiring sign in the front window, you put Velcro on the ceiling. These are all punchlines to famous jokes that you tell when you're young with your friends.
I think it would have made it onto Opie and Anthony like 10, 15 years ago, the offensive song contests they used to.
Yeah, well, there was a KKK song on Opie and Anthony 15 years ago, right?
Oh, there was a bunch of them.
There was a specific KKK song.
I don't remember it.
It was like the Ku Klux Man can.
Yeah, the Can song. There was more Jew songs than racial songs, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like that song "Stuck in an Oven with Jews."
Stuck in an oven with Jews.
Yeah, it's still one of the top. Yeah, here it is, right? I'm not gonna play it. Should I
play what?
"Stuck in an Oven"?
Hey, I think you should do it. Let's just do it. Who cares?
I'm not sure how I got here today. The Nazi soldiers came and took me away.
I'll play like a couple seconds.
I don't believe that my real name is Schmidt. So they dumped my house up here at Auschwitz. I'm to the left of me, I'm to the right. Here I am, stuck in an oven with Jews. Yeah, I work all day.
All right. I have enough of this.
See, it's still to this day.
But that was on regular radio.
Terrestrial, yes.
Terrestrial radio 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
15 years ago, around. So you can see how we've progressed to this PC culture we are today, where the Ku Klux Man can and Stuck in the Oven with Jews could be played on regular radio. Now, if you say black person, you're a racist.
Well, did you see what was banned from the radio station in Cleveland this past week?
What?
The song "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Yeah, I heard this.
Because it promotes male aggression.
Play the song a little bit. We're gonna do some Christmas time. What Grinches of you in here hate Christmas? You fucking Grinches. We're gonna play the song. Play it.
See, now I gotta figure out which one I want to play. Dean Martin, the original. Now,
old Dino.
If you think about it, it wouldn't be cold outside if you got stuck in the oven.
No, it would be very warm. You'd be cooked to a crisp in Auschwitz.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go
But
away.
baby, it's
That's
cold
it.
outside.
These exact words are what.
Evening has
Been hoping
been
that you drop.
Those actually the first lines of the song is what made some SJWs offended. Those words right there.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold
He's basically
outside.
trying to lure her into the house. It was said.
It's cold outside.
So what?
Been hoping
It's luring women into your house for a movie, pizza, or a cup of coffee is rape, then I raped my wife before we were married.
Fireplace
So
rock.
really, I'd better
Beautiful,
scurry.
please.
I'd better scurry. No, because you need to stay here so I can rape you.
Yeah, you're
That's
getting
not what said.
raped. You're getting good and raped. And then you're going to become my housewife, and I'm going to slap you around when you don't bring my slippers.
Where?
I really can stay. Baby, it's cold outside. Dun, 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 dun. I said it's cold outside. Now bend over, you dumb bitch. You dinky broad. That's the real song.
That's where Dean Martin was coming from, basically.
Yeah, he was famous for putting his hands on women, wasn't he? He was known to slap a bitch, slap a hoe.
Probably.
Yeah, back then. I mean, it was like eating a sandwich.
Not normal.
So we got that. What else you want to do? Oh, here we go. Let me see. We went over Beto Obama. We went over Dan Cortez, Alexandria. Oh, so who do you think's going to win in the great conservative war? Fox Nation or the team up of the Blaze and conservative CRTV? CRTV and the Blaze, yeah. Glenn Beck and Mark Levin, they've had a thing. Not a love affair. It's the opposite of a love affair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark Levin, I think, owns CRTV. Glenn Beck owns the Blaze. So if you have a behemoth trying to make their way into the internet subscription market, conservative, and that being Fox Nation, where you get Tyrus and that cat Timph, whatever, you can listen to Tyrus and Cat. Look, one's really big, one's really small. Whoa. Or you can listen to the Blaze TV now, because CRTV is gone. It's just the Blaze TV.
Now, is Ruben still on it? Is Gavin still on it? Or weren't they on CRTV?
Well, yeah. So everyone, it's all the same.
Wait,
all the people are still there. What?
That was the one Levin's on, right? With
the Constitution.
Yeah.
Second Amendment, Ronald Reagan.
Being the I mentioned this last week, the radio junkie, I still am, but more so back in the day. There were radio wars even in AM talk radio, and it was always Rush, then Hannity, and then the number 3 spot was always fought over between Levin and
Savage.
Levin, Savage, or Beck. And Beck and Levin were always at each other's throats. They hated each other.
Yep.
And Levin would call him a drunk and a crybaby, and it's just surprising that it's come to this. I think they're phonies. I wouldn't fucking
big fat phonies. Well, they saw the behemoth. I'm going to stick with that word. I like that word. The behemoth of Fox News trying to make their way into the conservative internet subscription niche, where you pay $8 a month.
Who's going to subscribe to Cat Tim and Tyrus?
There's someone's out there. I don't know who. But They're doing it. Let me see. Fox Nation. I'm going to go to foxnation.com. Let me see what they got. CRTV, which is now the Blaze, still has all your favorites, but now Glenn Beck.
Is that other blonde chick in there? What's her name?
Kat Timpf.
No, the I can't think of her.
I like Kennedy. She's like one of the few. I don't think she's on Fox Nation.
No, she's on Fox Business. She's a libertarian.
I like her. She's sharp. So you can start your free trial. It's opinion. Wow, they went all out. Fox Nation. They really did. They spent a shit ton of money doing this.
Oh, Tommy Lauren. That's what I was thinking of. Was she on there?
Tommy Lauren. Yeah, Tommy Lauren's on it. Yeah. Yep. Fox Nation. They went all in. Holy shit. I don't know if CRTV or the Blaze TV now is going to be able to survive, because very rarely do people get both. You know, you pick one and that's it. So you could do both, but that's a lot of shows.
Going to be on there.
What?
Supposedly Hannity's going to have something on there.
I'm trying to see who's on here. If all these shows are true, you got documentaries, you got Tom Shalhoub. Oh, we shared a stage with Tom Shalhoub.
He was able to stand on it.
He stood. We sat on the stage.
Now, I hate Tyrus. I really hate Tyrus. I get it.
One's big, one's small.
Yeah, him and Kat are on the Gutfeld show every episode, and then they have sometimes they'll have on Dana Perino, or they'll have on
the same people.
Shalhoub's on there too.
Yeah. Well, Brian Kilmeade has a show on Fox Nation, so everyone should be excited about the Brian Kilmeade show. Benson and Harf. So it was Guy Benson and Kathleen Harf. They have a show on Fox Nation, but I'm assuming you get all of Fox's normal shows. But Tucker Carlson is audio only. Hannity is audio only. The Five. So it looks like Fox News's television shows you can get in audio form, which is good for people who drive.
So the Blaze still has, they have the Duck Dynasty guy. They have Eric Bowling probably crying about his son still. They have Michelle Malkin.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say who else is on there. I guess
the Todd Starnes show is on Fox Nation. I don't know who Todd Starnes is.
And on Hannity's radio show tonight, he was basically begging Bill O'Reilly to come back. So maybe he'll be on Fox Nation.
Well, yeah, and that's another one. O'Reilly has his own space. Apparently, he's doing all right from what I hear. I hear things. So
yeah.
I hear he's doing all right with his space.
Is he writing killing books?
Probably.
Killing Reagan, killing the blacks, killing
Eazy-E.
That would be awesome.
It's just a book with one word: AIDS.
Dude, you have to write that book.
Killing Eazy-E.
Yeah,
Bill O'Reilly.
That's your pen name, Bill O'Reilly, and then you just write AIDS on one page. I'd buy it.
So, how much does a subscription to Fox Nation cost? Let's see. No, I don't want a free trial. Okay. Wow, it's cheap. It's $6 a month. I guess they're trying to undercut Blaze, which was CRTV, now Blaze TV. Because Blaze TV is, I think, more expensive monthly. So let's see if Blaze goes down in price. Or yearly, $65. You get a year of Fox Nation, of internet. So that's interesting. Now, let's see. Now, I'm going to go to Blaze TV. This is research on the fly, guys. Let's see here.
Is the
Blaze
Blaze
TV.
popular anymore as a website?
No, but Blaze TV will be because it's taken all the subs from CRTV. Gavin's still on it. I think all the guys who are on CRTV are still on it. It's just Glenn Beck's little band of whatever is there as well. So let's see. I'm going to click subscribe. So it's $100 a year. Wow. $10 a month. It's double the price.
I see.
It's double the price. Almost double the price.
If you go to the Blaze website, it's a big ad right at the top of the page with Levin, Rubin, and Beck. And Beck does. Who did you say he looked like earlier?
Glenn Beck looked like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, he looks like it in that picture too.
So who's going to win? Glenn Beck or Fox Nation?
New Media Central is going to win.
New Media Central always wins because we don't give a shit.
That's how you win.
That's how you win, by not giving a shit. The Patriarchy Show and New Media Central, we're always going to win because we don't care.
I'm still laughing about killing Easy. Where was I?
So, I mean, you could subscribe to both. Nothing's stopping you. You can subscribe to one, which is what most people do. This is interesting. So Levin and Beck, after all these years of bickering, decided to team up. I find it interesting. I like this stuff. I like gossip, especially right-wing juicy gossip.
Do you like gossip about MSNBC hosts? Do you know Katie Tur? Caddy, whatever her name is.
Katie Tur. The tranny.
Is she?
I don't know. There's the tranny helicopter pilot, and then there's the news anchor. Which one are you talking about?
I don't know if Katie Tur is the. She's a news anchor. She does.
Oh, that's probably his daughter, her daughter, its daughter, the tranny's daughter.
Well, she was sad today on live TV, and she told her audience about how her life is pointless. Do you want to hear that?
Please.
Because wait till you hear why her life is pointless.
Okay.
Make sure there's no ads here. I hate these fucking video.
Let me.
I read that New Yorker article today, and I thought, gosh, how pointless is my life, and how pointless are the decisions that I'm making on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, come on with your buffering.
Gosh, how pointless is my life, and how pointless are the decisions that I'm making on a day-to-day basis.
You serious?
What's happening?
It's the internet. That's what's happening. These fucking websites.
Is my life, and how pointless are the decisions that I'm making?
I'm turning this off. She's saying, "My gosh, how pointless is my life, and how pointless are the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis when we are not focused on climate change every day, when it's not leading every one of our newscasts."
So she sounds like an overly dramatic woman, which makes sense because she's a woman.
Yeah.
But they want equal rights in the workplace. Climate. I don't give a fuck about climate change. I want to know who's going to win the battle of Fox News versus Glenn Beck and Mark Levin. That's what I'm all about. That's my thing.
Well, they're fighting for second place because New Media Central wins. But
here's the thing. Pat Dixon is buds with Tom Shalhoub.
Yeah.
I don't know who we should root for. Fuck.
I don't like Glenn Beck.
No, neither do I.
I don't like his whiteboard bullshit. I don't like Titus.
Neither do I.
Or Tyrus, whatever his name is. He was a wrestler, right?
Yeah, Impact Wrestling or something, I think. And he was on the show Preacher on AMC.
And Kat Tim is basically, she's young, but she basically already is a cat lady because all she does is lay in her bed and post pictures of her cat.
Right. With like glasses of wine next to her, right?
Yeah, with their stupid crooked face.
Just one of those.
Their
All
stupid
right.
face.
So I just find it interesting in the conservative spot who's going to take the banner. Like I said, you can subscribe to both. You can subscribe to none and just listen to YouTube and free stuff. There's so much free shit out there.
Yeah, all those people are friendly with one another, so you're not going to get don't listen to this guy because he sucks. We don't
know. Hopefully we get there. I would love to see that.
Oh my god, it was so fucking corny back in the day when podcasting first, got big when I was doing it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we would have fucking quote wars and try and trash each other because we were trying to imitate, Stern and Opie and Anthony. It was so horrible.
I think this is a time
to bring it back.
Reel it in a little bit. What time is it?
It's
wow. We were in overtime. Just so you know, we have an Amazon affiliate link. So if you're gonna shop on Amazon, if you click the link in the description and shop like you normally would, that's helping us out. Like we don't have a Patreon, we don't have any of that shit. So don't end the show. Don't end the show. I'm just saying
that wasn't it.
I'm just saying that if you're going to shop on Amazon, go to newmediacentral.net. There's an affiliate link there. You just buy whatever the fuck you normally buy. You fucking savages who listen to the show. The only people that can listen to this shit are fucking have to be savages. And who else? Who would listen to us?
Bored people.
No. Very mentally well put together people who are handsome. Well, there's probably 3 women that listen to us.
Oh yeah, somebody messaged earlier.
Yeah. I wonder what our listener. But anyway, newmediacentral.net, Amazon. Buy what you want to buy that Samsung TV with the government camera. Go ahead. You just click our link first, and we get some shekels. That's all I wanted to say. That's it. All right, let's get through these stories. Australian Army tomfoolery. Pull that up.
Australian Army tomfoolery. Okay.
So, Army captain who violated colleague in tomfoolery gone wrong found guilty of rape.
Who uses that word?
Australia. Oi, noi. So, an Australian Army captain who violated a male colleague with a beer bottle.
What kind?
Ooh.
Was it like a shorty? Was it a 12 ounce? Was it
a beer ball?
40?
In what his lawyer described as tomfoolery gone wrong during a work function, has been found guilty of rape. Key points. Assault happened in the men's toilets during a work social function. The victim says he experiences ongoing trauma and anxiety. Prosecutors say the accused has not apologized and showed no contrition.
Hey, I was just, doing some tomfoolery here. I didn't know the Bible was going to.
Oi, no! I was just putting a pan of Foster's up his bum. Riley Boyson, 26, is expected to be sentenced by a court martial panel in Canberra on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the court heard the assault happened in the men's toilets during a work social event last year. Prosecutor Sarah Robin said there had been a certain amount of lowbrow humor in the toilets, which spiraled out of control. That's English. That's not Australian at all. No, she said the victim had been on the floor trying to stop his pants from being removed at the time of the incident. Ms. Robin read a statement from the victim in which he outlined the trauma and anxiety he has suffered since. He said he carried a sense of shame for the impact it had on his young family. The man,
you're a fucking loser, Dad.
Dad, you got a beer bottle shoved in your ass. The man said he had also had a great deal of difficulty because social events triggered his anxiety. I know this is as a result of the incident at a work function with my work colleagues where I thought I was safe.
This social events. Hey, look, there's the guy.
Just don't worry about it. We'll spit on it first. A message needs to be sent to him that pranks that result in a violation of the person will not be allowed. All right, so there were no aggravating features like violence or restraint, apparently, according to the other lawyer. Let me see. Flight Lieutenant Callan also claimed the attack was not done for sexual gratification. This was an instance of momentary penetration, a few seconds long, she said. So a guy in the army in Australia got a beer bottle shoved up his ass, and now he has PTSD. End of story. That's my article.
There you go. I like the 2 articles down from that. As dementia took over Margaret's body, her daughter discovered $200,000 debt.
Wow. Well,
Mom, you fucking bitch! You leave me with this debt. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that.
So I mean, if it really went down the way they say he claims it went down, so a bunch of Australians got drunk and be like, "Oh, it would be funny if we ram this beer bottle up his bum," and they ran the beer bottle up his bum. Hopefully, the part you drink out of, and not the other part. Because either way sounds like a bad time.
That's
just don't put when you're at a work function, people. Do not stick a beer bottle up your coworker's ass.
And if you don't want people to, if you don't want to suffer any kind of embarrassment or shame, and you don't want your son to be embarrassed of you, don't take it to court, I guess.
Yeah. Just keep it and bury it deep down inside.
Like
maybe go on a murdering rampage. But whatever you do, bury it.
You know what? I just realized what I said, and I made it sound like if you get raped, just don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. So I typed Florida man into Google today.
Okay.
Florida man. Ryan Neihart was arrested and charged with battery and criminal mischief by the Daytona Beach Police Department on July 8th, 2018. It's an old story, but bear with me, it's funny. After he allegedly slammed a partially blind man. Why am I laughing? A partially blind man to the ground. It's funny. The victim was dressed in a minion costume to promote a boardwalk business.
What the hell was this?
So some asshole body slammed a blind guy who was dressed up as a minion.
Why was the blind?
There's so many questions, Sal.
I don't get it. Okay, I have the video up.
All right, you have the video? All right. Yeah. It's just video, so do a play-by-play.
All right, so it's on the screen too, so people watching could see this. So I see the minion outside. All right, he's up. Someone just walked up and just threw him to the ground and is kicking him repeatedly. The minion's fighting back. Then the minion threw him on the ground. And the guy just walked away. He gave up. What the hell was that? And there's a guy on the cell phone standing there.
Minions.
I like the guy that's standing there with the phone.
He's not doing it. He's just taping it. Dressing up as a minion to promote a shop on the Daytona Beach Boardwalk didn't come with hazard pay. That's because neither the store owner nor the partially blind man dressed in character could predict what was about to happen. According to Daytona Beach Police, 25-year-old Ryan Neihart picked up the man who was dressed as a minion, spun him around, and dropped him on the pavement on Sunday evening. Neihart was apparently encouraged by a couple of people who watched him harass the victim. So some dickhead with his dickhead friends were like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if you kicked them? And that's what happened. You don't dress up like a minion and we don't want your kind here. Get out. We don't want minions in our part of town.
It's Yeah, it's just some guy being a douche on the boardwalk. What do you expect?
We don't take kindly to minions.
The minion got a nice shot in there at the end. He like threw him back down,
Hey,
or the
blind.
guy tripped over him. I don't know. You couldn't tell because it wasn't clear.
The sight-impaired victim was promoting Jungle Georges in the minion costume when he told police Neihart approached him and started to harass him.
Neihart,
whatever, started to get rough with him. And when he told him to stop, Neihart allegedly picked him up and slammed him into the pavement, bruising his arm. Jungle George's owner told police the minion suit was also damaged in the attack. Police have not released the surveillance video. Oh, but you just saw it if you're listening live Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Exclusive.
It's exclusive from July. Listen, guys, if you're bored, you want to laugh at the news, this is an old meme, this is old hat, but it still works. You just type in Florida, man, and you'll find gems like this.
Yeah, man. It's nice.
So we talked about Alexandria Dan Cortez. Mueller recommends no jail for Flynn because of Flynn's cooperation. So I guess he cooperated in that particular situation.
The news had to figure out a way to spin it to make it sound like, it's beneficial towards the left when it's not. It's neither. It's beneficial for no one. He's not getting jail time,
right?
But his life was fucking ruined, and there's no Mueller time, as the left likes to say. That
Mueller time
didn't flip on Trump. Otherwise, he would have. They would have needed to speak to him 19 times.
19 times. So, before we wrap up the show, we actually have a little bit more to talk about, but I just have to shill one thing. We have to do this. It's in my contract. We don't have contracts. That's what's awesome. We just do this. VPN. This is about VPNs.
Yes.
Virtual, private, neutered men. No.
Network.
No, Sal. Network.
I said it.
Yeah, well. Did you know that VPN Unlimited, which is in our description and on newmediacentral.net, creates an encrypted tunnel and all user activity travels through it? This means that all the data they send or receive is hidden from hackers. Have you ever been hacked, Sal?
Yes.
You've been hacked and
I've been raped. I've been cyberbullied.
You've had bottles shoved up your bum.
Yes, as a joke.
No, have you been? Has your email ever been broken into?
No.
Okay.
So I've been lucky.
You've been lucky, but you also use it. I know I gave you my information, and we both use VPN Unlimited. So
I have
data that you send or receive.
I was going to say we have another security system in place called Spicky, who told me to tell you he loves you and hello, and he wants to come on the show. Yeah.
Okay. Tell him I love Spicky. Who doesn't love Spicky? We all love Spicky. Exactly. See, I told you that's who listens to our show. A bunch of fucking savages. Because that's you have to be to put up with this. Where was I? This means that all the data they send or receive is hidden from hackers, sniffers, and spies. Like that guy, that Steele dossier guy. They can't get you now.
Yes.
Because you got your VPN. Because it is inside the tunnel. A tunnel is established between your device and one of 1,200 plus. Sal, how many? Did you hear what I say?
1,200 plus.
Reliable servers of VPN Unlimited located in 70, Sal. Not 69. 70 plus regions around the globe. Not only your connection will be protected, your geographic location, which is important, and IP will be hidden too. So I'm in Jersey. I could say I'm in the UK and sign up for ITV and watch British TV for free without a TV license. Do you have a license? No. I have a VPN. So This will let you surf the web without any restrictions or limits, whether inside your country or on a business trip or on vacation. You will have access to your favorite web resources, even in the regions with, Muslim areas in China. It says regions with strict internet censorship. VPN Unlimited is a cross-platform service. There's apps for the iPhone, which I have. It's Mac, Windows, Linux. There's Chrome extension, Firefox. It's good. I was using it before, we started reading spots for them. Check them out, VPN Unlimited. And if you're going to try it out, make sure you click the link in the description in this YouTube video. If you're live right now, if you're podcasts, go to newmediacentral.net. There's a link for VPN Unlimited. Click that. Try it out. See if you like it. If you don't like it, you cancel.
Does it work for Obama?
If you're going to get the VPN anyway, you just do this.
Does it work for Obama phones?
It worked for Obama phones. Then Hillary comes and hits him with a hammer. Tony Gabagool comes around the corner and smashes you, the hacker, in the head.
Hey, that works. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so Les Moonves obstructs justice. This just in. I don't know. It was in 2 hours ago when I was doing the show research. Les Moonves obstructed investigation into misconduct claims, report says. Facing multiple sexual allegations and fearing his career as an entertainment titan was over, Leslie Moonves, the chief executive of CBS, destroyed evidence and misled investigators in an attempt to preserve his reputation and save a lucrative severance deal, according to a draft of a report prepared for the company's board. The report by lawyers hired by the network says the company has justified to deny Mr. Moonves his $120 million severance. Let me say that again. $120 million severance. Mr. Moonves reigned as one of Hollywood's most successful and celebrated executives for decades before being forced to step down in September by dingy broads. I mean, after allegations by numerous women. The report, a copy of which was reviewed by the New York Times, says Mr. Moonves engaged in multiple acts of serious non-consensual sexual misconduct in and outside of the workplace, both before and after he came to CBS in 1995. So he's been there for a long time, huh?
Yeah, man.
30 years. 30 years for some broads. You just lost $120 million because you couldn't keep your dick in your pants.
If you wanted to, it could have just been tomfoolery gone wrong.
Yeah, it could have been a beer bottle in a bathroom. Mr. Moonves shaped the television landscape for more than 30 years, even before his CBS tenure. Moonves helped, this isn't all right, but he helped make Howard Stern, right?
Yeah.
That was CBS Radio.
Yep.
Even before his CBS tenure, he had an outside role in producing shows like the 1980s sitcom Full House and the 1990s mega hits ER and Friends at CBS. He turned around moribund, crappy, shitty network with audience-friendly smashes like Survivor, The Police, procedural, CSI, and it's multiple. I'm getting tired. Multiple spin-offs and sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory. Remember Big Bang Theory?
It's still on.
It's still on?
Yeah.
That's the show where people go, where like moms go, that's just like my son.
Is it?
For the past decade, CBS has been the most watched network. So Leslie earned his $120 million.
Wow.
But in September, Mr. Moonves' run at the network ended in ignominious fashion when he negotiated his exit shortly after 12 women told the New Yorker that he had sexually harassed or assaulted them. Since then, the possibility that he could still receive his lucrative exit package has infuriated many people. So they got a bunch of lawyers involved and said, no, you can't have your $120 million. Deal with it, bro.
Damn, he hired 2 law firms.
Well, it's $120 million.
Yeah.
This is later on. This article is long. Because of his run of successes, Mr. Moonves became one of the industry's highest paid and most respected of executives. He has drawn an annual pay package worth $69.3 million from 2006 to 2017. Mr. Moonves' total compensation, including salary and stock awards, totaled more than $1 billion. According to a research firm that gathers data on executive pay. But his fall from Hollywood's highest echelon was all but sealed after the board found out about his attempts to appease Ms. Phillips. $1 billion because of some broads. Hire prostitutes. What are you doing? O'Reilly, Ailes. What's wrong with these people? I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been married 11 years. We've been with the same girl for 12 years. I just don't understand how you can drop $1 billion because you want to slap the ass of an intern.
No one's learning from seeing, people before them get busted. So they deserve all the fucking trouble that's coming their way. Idiots. Fuck them. Moonves. Ailes.
Well, you got Matt Lauer, you got Moonves, you got Ailes, you got O'Reilly.
Matt Lauer was a sick fuck. He had a lock.
Yeah, wait. I heard that was reported weirdly. That because a lot of the people in that building had big offices, they all had locks
on their desks.
Yeah, they all had that button in the door because instead of getting up, walking to the door, locking it, and then walking back and taking a call, they would just hit the button and it would lock.
Why wouldn't you just lock the door when you first came in?
No, they all had that. So let's say the door's open, then he gets an important phone call, hits a button, boom, it's locked.
Or if someone's trying to walk out.
That would have
been really good.
And apparently he had a bunch of sex toys in his office, but there was a segment where someone came in with sex toys. He just probably threw them in the closet. He was like, fucking, what do I do with this? Just throw them in the closet. So a lot of the stuff about Matt Lauer was over. It was, it wasn't reported on properly. Yeah, he did have a lock, but so did everybody else because they had big offices. Yes, he did have sex toys, but there's a reason for that. I mean, he did harass women. He did do that stuff, but all the other salacious stuff wasn't true.
Those door locks would have came in handy for Louis C.K.
And another guy who did nothing wrong. I don't say another, but the guy that did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. We talked about it with Steve last week. Steve McCarthy, the comedian.
Yeah. He
asked these two female comedians to come up to his hotel room, and then he asked them, "Do you mind if I masturbate in front of you?" They said yes. So he did it. And now he got in trouble. So if yes means no, I don't know what to do. I'm so glad. Aren't you glad that you're married and you don't have to put up with any of this shit?
I don't even think it matters. If somebody wants to screw you over for some reason.
No, just Thomas O'Malley is right in the chat. He wrote, "Remember, always stay away from women." And that's a fact. I checked it on Bing.
Happy single American women.
I would if I was dating right now, I would be accused of rape the first 10 seconds of my first date.
What the hell are you gonna do?
Jeez. Pull out the chair for her and she'll be like, "Oh no, he was trying to bend me over." And I don't know. I feel sorry for my sons.
Yeah.
I have 2 sons now and one about to be born. I feel really bad for them. But we can turn it around, folks. Whitefield time. Turning it around. How? Well, we're still figuring that out.
Yeah, man.
We're still in the middle of that.
Impressive.
Post-Trump is going to be scary. Right now, it's scary. but imagine post-Trump. So let's figure this out. Let's do something. Let's raise our boys to be men, not boys to men, but boys to be men, and our daughters to be proper females, proper women, not this shit. Anyway, so Sal, hit the music.
All right. Let's do it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we went overtime by like over a half an hour.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for listening. For those who participated in the chat room, who listen live, thank you. It's always appreciated. I'm always paying attention to what you're saying. It's good interaction. So appreciate it, you guys. You help make the show a better place for everybody. So
heartfelt.
Yes, it's a heartfelt thank you. So make sure, this is for everybody now, not just the chat. Make sure you take 10 seconds and give us 5 stars on iTunes. It helps us battle the 1 stars that liberals give us constantly. So we're right now ranked 4 stars. And it's all 5 stars and 1 stars. So if you have an iTunes account or don't, just make one up and please just give us 5 stars. You don't even have to write a blurb. Just click 5 stars. That's it. Easy. If you want to write something like Ian ate my baby, that's fine. I don't care. It's 5 stars. 5 stars.
Yeah, we have a lot of stupid 5-star comments, but we want no 1-star comment. We want no 1 stars, no 2 stars. Stop.
No, 5 stars. Stop with the 1 stars.
Not
fucking
nice.
libs.
Not nice.
Yeah, we're accused of being Russian spies and whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so and that goes for any platform you're listening on, podcast listener. So if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. If you're listening to us on Google Play, or Stitcher, or even Deezer. If you're in France and listening to us on Deezer, give us whatever 5 baguettes, whatever they eat. I spoke about the Amazon affiliate program. It's in the description, newmediacentral.net. If you're going to buy something, it helps us out. If you're going to buy dog food on Amazon, click the link first, then buy the dog food. You're helping out an independent show that does this. And I want to say something about New Media Central. New Media Central is an independent network of right-wing voices. You can find informative news, commentary, and thought-provoking podcasts, such as this, where we talk about magic retards. New Media Central, or NMC, as I like to call it, is independent of PAC and mainstream media influence. We appreciate any help you can give, so come to the site. Click the Amazon links before you shop there anyway. Like and subscribe. We don't have a Patreon because I don't trust them because of what happened to Emily Yukis. If anyone remembers her or knows her, they stole thousands of dollars from her. So we're gonna try to do it in a different way via ads and via Amazon affiliate, and that's it. Where you guys don't have to give $1 and $2. We're not asking that. Reviews, subscribe, ads, and that's it. Maybe eventually one day Fox Nation will pick us up. Tom Shula will be like, "Oh, my buddy Ian over there."
Yeah.
You never know. Let's hope not, because then it won't be fun anymore. Because this is fun.
Yes.
I want it to be fun. NewMediaCentral.net. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you next week. Our guest is I'm not sure yet. Have a good night.
Have a good one.